If it wasn't for fun, life couldn't survive. He is the one that we need, like the sunshine. If it wasn't for fun, life couldn't survive. He is the one that we need, like the sunshine.
I'm a mystery, the mist don't mean shit to me. I come from the rain, but that's just some ancient history. A savior was born when God created spores. Find me on the end of your stick like you're making s'mores. Symbiotic exchange, yeah, we save resources. The flow's balanced, it allows us all to stay in orbit. Psilocybin, I can show you where the sacred source is. Make your spine stand up like a stegosaurus. I'm the reason that your lungs are breathing. Whether or not you wanna believe it, I eat you in.
What's happening, everybody? Alright, so this is where we left off. Can't even tell where the sprue came off. Yeah, I know it still looks a little rough, but I ain't done. And this is where we're at right now. Check this out. So after lots and lots of time of being sanded on, being put in the tumbler, being sanded on some more, being put in the tumbler again, and sanded on and tumbled, and then I started going to town on the gap for the bearing, and I am pleased with how it's coming out. So the only thing I have to do now is remake one of the center caps that I hold on to while it spins. One came out perfect, the other one not so perfect, and I don't think it's going to accept the other side of the cap. One side of the cap is a male, the other side is a female. We all know how that works. You squeeze them together and they should be press fitted together. The female, it's not big enough to accept the male, and giggity. So I'm going to keep on working on the caps, and after that I'm going to give this a real nice polish, and hopefully we can make some of those lines go away, give it an even shine. But it's coming out. Got the bearing press fitted in there. I'm going to pop it out before I completely finish it, and probably put just a very small dab of adhesive in there just to make sure it doesn't come out. Once I fit it in there, it's probably, well, silver doesn't stretch. Let's put it that way. So once that bearing is in there, that's the size of the hole now. And I'm guessing once it starts getting some use, it's soft, silver soft, so it's gonna possibly loosen up. I don't know. So a little dab of adhesive just to help ensure that it don't ever come apart, until somebody chooses to take it apart anyway. All right, on with the center caps. All right. This is the only piece I got left that has to be finished. This is the other little button that I need to do. When I shoved this down into the sand, I screwed up the imprint somehow. Made it smaller than what it actually is. I don't know how the hell that happened. So I'm trying it again. Alright, we are up to temperature. And it is time to finish this pig up. I'm going to grab the flask out of my toaster oven. And this time, instead of pouring through the top of the button, I'm going to pour through the bottom. Got about 1.5 ounces or so of silver in here melted down. The button is only going to weigh, I don't know, a little over 1/4 of an ounce. I want to make sure I have enough to get the cavity filled. It's always good to have a little more than enough. Almost forgot my glasses. Ah. Alright. A couple little BBs got away from me here. A little bit of silver shot. Well, most of them made it back into the crucible. We got a button. Trying to get the sand off of it as fast as possible, because it will stop smoking. And cooking the Petrobomb. There we go. Yeah, so last time this part right in here wasn't thick enough to receive the male end. I'm going to have to cut this off right about here and drill it out so it will receive the silver end of one of these. This is the part that I'm working on now. This is the part that I already got good, and it needs to be able to go right inside there, fit together. So that's what I'm working on now. And hopefully this thing will be done real soon. This is definitely one of my longer projects, more elaborate, more intricate, I suppose. I don't know. Not a whole lot of detail to them, it's just tedious work. Alright. Let's see what happens next. Sweet. This side came out looking great. Perfect. This is the one I need to make match. And I seem to be having issues with it. I'll get it. I'm going to work on this one. The last one I didn't even bother trying. I just remelted it. But I think I can get this one. I'll make it work. So close to being done. I'm going to put a polish on that. I'm going to put a polish on that. I'm going to go downstairs with this one and try to get some of those lines out of there. And then I'm going to put a polish on that. I just did kind of a little bit of a dry fit, I suppose. And these two pieces, all right, check this out. There's the male end. There's the female. I got the female end just a tiny fraction of a millimeter smaller than what it needs to be. So when this thing goes together, it's getting pressed together and it's not coming back apart. Once I press this thing together, it's either getting pried apart or drilled out in order to get it apart. I'm building it to last. That's the least I can say about that. But yeah, this has been a huge pain in the balls. Getting that hole centered. Just, again, a fraction of a millimeter off from center. And I was trying to build it up to this drill bit here. But I think if I do, it's just going to go through the side. And that will be no good. So I brought that down just a little bit, and I'm going to press it together. It's going to be forced together. I will, hopefully the next image I show you is going to be this damn thing put together and spinning. This has taken way longer than I expected. Yeah, just real fine details need to be taken care of as far as the fit goes. That's been the huge pain in the ass on this one. Alright, let's see what happens next. Hopefully I don't fuck it up. It's done. What a pain in the balls this thing has been. I had no idea that this was going to be this much work. Come to find out, you cannot pressure fit silver together. It don't work. So me thinking I was going to press the bearing into a tight fitting circle there, no, that didn't work. Thankfully, I have a rolling mill machine that's made for stretching and squishing metal. So after I got the bearing put into place, I used my rolling mill to press the silver in onto the bearing so it's locked in there. Got lucky there. The caps that you hold on to, these two outer caps, can't pressure fit those together either. So when I made those, here are the two that I sunk in my sand. As you can see, we got a male, we got a female. The female accepts the male. Nice snug fit. They don't want to come apart because they're pressed together. Yeah, that don't work with silver. Once you press it together, it'll come right apart as soon as it starts getting some use and wear. Found that out. So what I tried to do is press them together. I have a bearing press. So I stuck it in the bearing press and thought I was just going to squish these two pieces together and they were going to fit together permanently. Yeah, no, again, not happening. Nope. What I ended up doing is almost pushing the male end through the female side. Good job, Shrooms. So that's why that lump is there. Well, and then it pressed both sides of these buttons straight down into the spinner itself. So I thought for sure I was going to have to pour 2 more buttons, which I was going to have the same issue with again. How the hell am I going to put them together? So what I decided to do is cheat. I took some of the shavings that I had from drilling out the female side, because that was a solid lump sticking up. Drill it out so it can fit the male side, and I had some shavings. So I packed them down into the female side and took a dab of adhesive and made sure it was perfect before I, put some shavings down in there. Did a dry fit run before I decided to use adhesive to hold it together, but that's essentially where we are at right now. And it works. What a major pain in the balls. I have probably, how many hours do I have into this thing? I spent all day today on it. Probably, I don't know, 12 hours today. 2-3 hours the night before, a couple hours the night before, and possibly a couple hours the night before. So this was interesting, but it works. Yep. Here, check it out. I'm sitting here talking and I'm not showing the damn thing off. Not bad. Right? The buttons in the center, yeah, I almost punched through. I had a lot of that line gone until I decided to put it in my bearing press and press it together. It is what it is. I like it. It actually works. I mean, it came from a cheap Temu fidget spinner, so that's what the bearing came from, but it does work. Yep. All right. That's my fidget spinner. First attempt. It's got its quirks, I think. Yeah, for certain. Who the hell knows how long it's going to actually last before it comes apart. I don't know. My first fidget spinner. What a pain in the balls. All right. Hope you enjoyed. Much love, everyone. Talk to y'all soon.